Hey, what up guys? This is Northern Automan. This is going to be a guide on how to make homemade CO2. This is going to be a guide on the whole setup from start to finish, so except for the actual process of putting all the tubing together since I already have that all in place, but I'll go through that in a bit. First I'm just going to show you how to make the CO2, how to mix the ingredients and everything and what to use, and then you can do it however you like. So first off, what you need, all you really need is yeast and then just some sugar. I have these two containers which I actually put the solution in. This third one I'll explain later. But basically you need two containers. You can choose whatever size you want. Obviously the bigger, the more CO2 you can make, the more sugar and yeast you can put in it, and the more water, which will allow for a bigger reaction. And you also need to leave some room for foam, if foam does arise. So yeah, basically the main thing is the more yeast you use, the faster it's going to use up the sugar and the faster the reaction is going to happen. So I would recommend, if you have a big area that recycles or has a lot of fresh air coming in and a lot of air going out, then I would recommend putting a lot of sugar and a lot of yeast inside of it, because then the reaction will happen at a very explosive rate, which will add a lot of CO2 to the room. But the only downturn of that is that the sugar will get used up quicker, so then it will only last for about a week. Whereas if you used a small amount of yeast, if you have a room that is enclosed and you can do that, then you can use a small amount of yeast and it'll last for, you know, a couple weeks to a month. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put about 4 cups of sugar inside of this one and 2 cups of sugar in this one, and then I'm going to put 5 tablespoons of yeast in here. Teaspoons, I mean, 5 teaspoons of yeast in here. And then I'm going to put 2.5 in here. And I will come back after that's done. So I added all my yeast and my sugar. And some people may say to put like 1 teaspoon, 2 teaspoons of yeast in when you mix it in. But the reason I'm using so much is because my closet doesn't have, like, it circulates the whole room. So basically when I do this, I just want to like supercharge the plants with CO2 for like a week, because if I hook this up to the fan, then, you know, it's getting a lot of CO2. And this bottle actually proves that fact. That's why I have that. So yeah, now that you have these two all filled up with your sugar and your yeast, you can just add lukewarm water to it. And yeah, I'll go do that. Alright, so once you have added your water and everything's all shaken, you can shake it like every day, couple days or so. The stuff on the bottom won't all get absorbed at first, but yeah, you can just add some extra. So I'm going to explain the tubing setup. This setup I have, like, you can just use 1 bottle. You can use 10, you know, there's no limit of what you can do. But basically this is what I have. So I have my 2 jugs. I cut a hole through the top and then just use some silicone to seal it. And then I just used some aquarium tubing from Walmart and cut it apart. Silicone the same with this one, cut a hole through the top. The aquarium tubing comes with this little T connector, which then I put those two together and added another line into this bottle. And all these lines are just like 2 inches down, so they're just at the top here, as you can see. And then so same with this one that comes from this T connector. That's actually that one. Sorry, yeah, that one goes all the way down to the bottom. This tube right here goes down to the bottom, which then shows me that it's actually producing CO2. That's why I have that. You can see the bubbles rise, but it's not working right now. It takes about an hour before it actually builds up enough. And then I have a tube that is just sticking out in the top there. And on the end of that, where this is what I use to connect my fan, I have a I forget what they're called, but they come with aquarium tubing as well, and basically they just help break down the CO2 further, which helps the plants be able to absorb it. So yeah, I'll come back in an hour or so whenever this starts producing bubbles, and to show you guys that it's working. Alright, so I decided to just set it up and then I can still show you. So it's just starting to work now, but as you can see, it's still producing a bubble of CO2 like every half a second. Whoops. Every half a second or so, but once it picks up, it should be like almost continuous. And then basically I just have that hose that's running from that bottle coming to the bottom of my fan. Turn it on low speed, pointing it down, raise the lights a tiny bit, And I'm just going to close these doors a tiny bit more, and which will make it have a bit more CO2 in there. But yeah, that's how you set up CO2. I know it wasn't the best guide. I didn't show you how to put the tubing together and everything. But if you have a question, feel free to PM me or comment or whatever, and I'll get back within the day usually. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video and have a great day. Peace.